Anthony Macri sidelined. We'll predict high limit and World of Outlaws drivers and teams for 2026, update the Mike Marlar chassis situation, and more. Let's go. It's Tuesday, September 23rd. I'm Justin Fiedler. This is DIRTRACKR Daily presented by Kubota Genuine Parts. New for 2025, DIRTRACKR is now on Patreon. You can find the show at patreon.com/DIRTRACKR. It's free to sign up there and just another way to keep up with everything dirt racing. If you sign up for the top tier premium membership, you can get the daily show completely ad-free. That means no platform ads and no ad content from me, just the dirt racing stuff. Members also get access to their own chat, extra content, and other perks. If you want to join, hit at patreon.com/DIRTRACKR. You can also support the show on YouTube with a channel membership that gets you some added perks for just a few bucks a month. Click the join button at youtube.com/DIRTRACKR for more information on how to sign up. A show topic I've had on my ideas list for a few weeks that I want to tackle today is to talk through sprint car series choices for next season and do some predictions and some speculating on what could happen given what we know right now with driver and team changes. We'll get the second round of high limit franchises awarded following the final races of the year at Texas, and we know they've got big plans on future expansion for payouts for team owners. This year, the high limit champion will get $250,000 from a point fund, a bit over $1 million total. But next year, we'll see significant increases with the top team and 2-year average points finish earning $425,000 from a pool of franchise money that rises to $2.6 million. Those payouts are scheduled to continue rising through 2029, with the top spot then worth $625,000 from a $3.7 million pool. The top 10 high-limit franchises at this moment do and would belong to the Rico Abreu 24, the KCK 49, Brett Marks 19, the Clausen Marshall 7 BC, and then the Rudine 26, the Rod Gross 88, the Ridge & Sons 87, the Book 13, the CJB 5, and the Myers 14. Big question mark is, kind of right now on all the status of this is if and how World Racing Group will respond to these numbers from high limit for the World of Outlaws. Will they up the ante as well or just keep the status quo? World Racing Group has pretty consistently raised payouts in recent years, which some want to just equate to the expansion of high limit, but those numbers were going up before the second series came into existence. It's possible we won't know what the plans are for a while here, but I'm sure there will start being some rumblings as we get nearer to World Finals. So with all of that said, let's get into some predictions. Of the 10 teams we know that have franchises, I think I expect probably 8 of them to return for sure. We already know that Rico's franchise will be leased to TSR for his new deal. And barring a shock retirement or scaling back of his schedule, Brad Sweet and the KKR 49 also return. That would make sense. Brad, partial owner of High Limit. I also think the added cash will bring Brent Marks back, even though he's pondered his options in past off seasons. There have been a few rumblings about Justin Peck, but I think he'll be back with Rudine next season. I don't know right now that there is a better option out there for him, and Rudine is all in on High Limit. I also wouldn't expect changes for Aaron Reitzel and RSR or Tanner Thorson and the Rod Gross team. And as long as Tyler Courtney is healthy, he'll be back on tour with the 7BC. The two biggest question marks right now are the CJB 5 and the Myers 14. One of those two could sell their franchise to CMR/Spire for that Gio Scelzi car that has been rumored. Outside of running Corey Day in some indeterminate amount of races in 2026, we have zero idea right now what that 14 team will do. They've been at the center of the chatter for a franchise sale to CMR, and I think it's most probable they're not full-time next season. And the CJB rumors, they kind of keep percolating. Will Brenham Crouch return? Do they start a second team? Do they bring in a veteran driver? Flip over to the Outlaws? Those are all things that I have heard. I'll throw one more team in here as a small question mark, and that's the Book 13. There are no indications right now that their plan will change for this team, but if for some reason Days and Pursley does get poached, we don't know where that team, where that would leave that team. For now, I will definitely lean High Limit as a return for them. The non-franchise teams, I think, are all a coin toss on returning. That obviously means Cy Lynch, Chase Randall, and Danny Sams. I could see all or none returning, but their paths to franchises are going to be difficult. High Limit could award up to 5 more franchises beyond the initial 10, but their plan back from before said that that wouldn't happen until 2028. That would mean these 3 needing to race in 2026 and 2027 as non-franchise teams making less money, and with no guarantee at earning one of those future franchises. On the Outlaw side, I think it's status quo for David Grava with Big Game, Buddy Kofoid with Roth, and Logan Schuchart with Shark. I would also assume that Bill Balog will be back for year 3. The Outlaws will lose Tony Stewart Racing, but I think it's very possible that Donnie Schatz stays Outlaws when he finds a new ride. I don't see him flipping to High Limit or going pick and choose. If Schatz secures a new deal, which sounds more and more likely, I think he stays here. And that would negate a team loss with TSR flipping. At the moment, I know nothing and have heard nothing about future plans for Garrett Williamson, Cole Macedo, or Chris Windham. I can't see the sidecar racing anywhere but the Outlaws, though, and I don't know that the 2C or the 23 would buy a high-limit franchise. For now, I'll kind of stay status quo here with them and predict that they are all back with the Outlaws. There is question around Vermeer's plans, but I think it's most plausible that they keep a car on tour. Now, whether Hunter Schoenberg drives it or Kerry Madsen, I think that's still TBD. Further down the order, I think anything is possible for guys like Zach Hampton, Skylar G, or Connor Morell. I wouldn't be surprised if any stayed or departed, but I don't see a reason, though, for why a Bill Rowe's-owned team wouldn't be back with the Outlaws for another season. The question marks on this side right now, I think, are the JJR 41 with Carson Macedo, the KCP 18, the Stenhouse Marshall 17, and then driver Emerson Axum. Might be surprising to hear that about the 41, but there has been quiet talk in recent weeks. This team is waiting to see what the 2026 Outlaws package is before making a series decision. If they could be convinced to flip, this could be a team that buys a franchise from, say, a Myers or a CJB. The 18 and 17 are questions given that we don't know publicly who's going to drive those cars. My guess would be the 17 stays if they put a new deal together post Sheldon Haudenschild and Kyle Ripper. They obviously need a driver and a crew chief. I've heard those two, Sheldon Ripper to KCP, is effectively done, but the series choice remains an open question. I don't think I'd be surprised if they went either way. As for Emerson Axum, if his time is, if he's indeed out of the KCP 18, if his time is indeed done there after World Finals, him returning to that Klassmeyer Petrie team makes the most sense, and a full Outlaw run could be in the cards. This team ran a good portion of the Outlaw schedule in 2025 before Axum got the KCP deal. And there were rumors all through the first half of the season that them signing a platinum agreement was imminent. That didn't materialize, which was probably better for Axum anyway, but they would be better positioned in 2026 for a full pull given the experience this year. To wrap up, if there are new teams looking to join a series, I think the Outlaws are better positioned for providing those opportunities. There will be point fund and travel money available from High Limit for new teams, but as I said before, unless teams have the money to buy a franchise and a willing team to sell them one, the future path to a franchise through earning one is going to be long and much tougher. Teams joining the Outlaws would need to play the franchise game and are pretty quickly at full strength for getting all of the available benefits and being able to participate in the full point fund. Outside of a possible run, though, for Axum, I'm not aware right now of any credible information on teams looking to jump in that are new. And I know all of this was a lot to digest, but chew through it. Let me know what your thoughts are on all of this. Moving on, unfortunate news late last night for Anthony Macri as the sprint car driver revealed he'll be out 3 or 4 weeks with that fractured vertebrae that we mentioned on the show yesterday. That means the Kings Royal winner will miss this weekend's high limit shows at Bridgeport and Path Valley, plus the National Open at Williams Grove, and likely the Outlaw shows at New Egypt and Lincoln. Flow Racing's Kyle McFadden reported that Macri could return on October 17th. That weekend, the World of Outlaws are at Lincoln Park and LaSalle, while High Limit has their finale at Texas, so we'd have a couple of options there. There's also action at Lincoln Speedway that Saturday if Macri wanted to stay closer to home. Macri was trying to chase down Rico Abreu back on Friday for the lead in the High Limit show at Eldora during the Four Crown Nationals when he crashed and was injured. Macri now on a not great list of drivers that includes Aaron Reitzel, Tyler Courtney, Brad Sweet, and Gio Scelzi, all who were injured at Eldora this season. He's currently won the 4th most money this season in sprint car competition, north of $500,000, thanks to 14 wins in 74 races and that Kings Royal crown. Hopefully he's able to heal up here quickly. Updating the Mike Marlar, Ronnie Dell, Rocket Chassis stuff that we talked about yesterday. When we talk about rumors and chatter here on the show, I'm always happy to make corrections if necessary. And in this case, the information I had, it doesn't seem like it was entirely incorrect. We'll get into that in a second. Mike's brother Cameron posted a Facebook comment on my episode yesterday that just read, quote, false. Since he didn't offer any other information or words and didn't reply back to me after that, I'm assuming he's referring to the Rocket Chassis part of that segment. Everything else that I talked about there was basically public knowledge. Another source told me today that Marlar is likely to drive a Longhorn with Cornet power coming up with Delk, but the information I had about the Rocket situation is still interesting. A very good source told me that Ronnie Delk has his name on a new chassis at Rocket, and given Marlar and Delk's history and the struggles this season, it made a lot of sense that it could be for Marlar. Venture down a different path to try and spark some performance. And Marlar not racing yet could be because they were waiting on that Rocket chassis to be finished. The other possibility here, though, if it's not for Marlar, is that the car could be for Delk's son Jared, who races crate late models around the Southeast. He's made something like 15-ish appearances this season, according to MRP. That includes a 604 late model win at I-75 in April. It looks like he's been racing a Sniper chassis, though, which is Ricky Weiss's deal. Those cars are constructed in the Bruce Built shop. Delk was featured on the Sniper Facebook page for a win back in July at Golden Mountain Speedway. So maybe a Delk car swapping, but not Marlar. We'll see here. I'm going to put a pin in this one, and we'll double back to it in the future because I don't know that we're getting the full story here. Closing out today, hat tip to late model driver Shane Sabraski on 1,000 career feature wins. He accomplished that mark in recent days. That's a lot of wins over 25 years of racing. Also, a big thank you for me for 50,000 followers on Facebook. We crossed over that mark yesterday. Super cool, and the YouTube channel is hopefully next. That's the show for today. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day out there. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.